I vibe coded a new site all about the crypto space. And I built it with AI. So this is an MVP of the site. Once I got the site live, I connected it to Google Search Console. And then a day or two later, I got this alarming email. Breadcrumb structured data issues detected in cryptoflashreport.com. That's the site that I'm currently vibe coding. And it said that there is a critical issue. And then it gave me a little button that I could click on to fix this particular issue. Let's see if I can fix it using Cursor. So the first thing that I'm going to do is take or copy the error, and I'm going to head over to Claude and say, tell me more about this critical issue. Now Claude is explaining exactly what's wrong with my site. So according to Claude, the problem is the breadcrumbs on the Crypto Flash report. So this would relate to the navigation I have at the top, is missing some required name property. So this is really bad for SEO and also for user experience. And it's also provided me a quick fix as well as an example of correct markup and given me some next steps. So my next step is actually to head over to Cursor, and now I'm going to open up the project in question. It's saved directly onto my computer, and my computer is connected or synced to my GitHub account. Now I'm going to open up a brand new chat, and I'm going to paste in the error that I got from Google Search Console and see if Claude is able to identify the issue. Now you'll see that I'm currently in agent mode, so I'm going to change this to ask mode. Sometimes I found if I do something in agent mode, it'll actually go and rewrite things and it won't be happy. In this case, I'm going to use Claude for Sonnet. I find Claude 4 is a little bit better than Gemini. Gemini takes too long, although sometimes Claude 4 times out. So let's see what happens. So you can see here that Claude 4 is actually taking quite a bit of time to generate a response. So sometimes I'll switch between the different models when I want to figure out what's working. So Claude is telling me the user is asking me to identify an issue with breadcrumbs on structured data on the Crypto Flash report. So I'm going to give it a few more seconds and see if it actually can come up with something. Claude 4 is still taking way too long. So I'm actually going to hit stop and I'm going to turn on max mode. I've been experimenting with using max mode quite a bit lately, although it does tend to get a little bit expensive. So let's see, does this generate a response any faster? So it's immediately able to think through and give me a response much faster, but this does tend to use up a lot more of my tokens. So it's identified the issue and now it's searching for some potential fixes. So it's saying there's an issue with the template file. So I'm going to go to the template file myself and see if I can see what the issue is. Okay, so it looks like it would need the help of an experienced coder to fix. So again, this is why I like using AI for all of this. So it's found the issue. It's come up with a code fix, which looks pretty similar to what I got from the web version of Claude. Again, I like doing all of this in the ask panel rather than the agent panel, so it doesn't actually change the code. Please update template accordingly. Sometimes I just make typos, but AI can figure it out. So it's going in and fixing line 211 to 710. Now, I'm not a coder. I just know how websites work and how they're built. So I do like to try and read the code so I can understand some of the changes that it's making. So in this case, it looks like it actually applies to a couple of different templates. So Claude says it's fixed or rewritten this part of the code. And now it's checking to see if there are other issues or other pages on the site that might have the same issue. It's found another page on the site that also has the breadcrumbs issue. I found when I'm working on a multi-page site with AI that sometimes it'll fix one page but not everything. Or sometimes it'll fix an issue on one page and then introduce other bugs. So this is why testing is a big part of it. I do like these little encouraging synopsis that I get from AI. Issue identified and resolved, and it's giving me a nice little tick and summarized everything that it's done. And it said it's now or should now pass Google's validation. Great news. Push to GitHub. And then I'm going to reference my GitHub workflow file. So I've actually created a rules folder for this particular project. So it has rules for deploying to GitHub. So Cursor helped me write this. I have another video on the channel where I profile how you can use Cursor or AI with GitHub. So do check that out. So it's comparing it to my branch. It's checking for modifications. Now it's going to run all the crazy terminal commands and push this to GitHub for me. So now it's pushed the change to GitHub. but it's found that there are some unstaged changes. So basically there are some changes on my computer that don't map up to what's on GitHub. So this is why it's helpful to have some workflow guidelines for solving issues like this. Again, because I'm not actually doing anything, AI is taking care of all the heavy lifting for me. Okay, so the deployment has been successful. So I'm going to navigate over to my GitHub repository. And if I go into the GitHub repository and scroll down, I can see the template has been pushed. And if I click on commits, I should be able to see that's been committed as well. The final step would potentially be to make sure that the site has been rebuilt. So I'm using Netlify to host this particular site in question. So the site has been rebuilt with the breadcrumbs issue supposedly fixed. Now the final step is for me to select validate fix. Now because there's a cache, it could take a few minutes or even a few hours for me to validate this. So I'll go ahead and validate the fix and I'll either mark it off or close it off on my Trello board as done. Or alternatively, if there is an error, I'll go back into Cursor and repeat the exact same steps.